best run in England. The very best of luck to him and Lester Piggott. And over to you, Graham Gould.
For this Doncaster Cup, in which Bedford goes into the lead from Santellaman, perhaps an heir apparent to Ardross. In second place, Donegal Prince on the outside is third. Ardross is in fourth place at this stage, up on the outside the grey Baron Blakeney. But it's quite a steady pace being set by Bedford in the lead from Santellaman second, then Donegal Prince third. Then comes Baron Blakeney, Ardross just behind him next to the rails. Tracking Ardross is Noelino. On the outside of Noelino is Sheer Grit, and the back marker at this stage is Halin. Bedford the leader, ears pricked, passes the stands of the circle of the course in front of him, and down to the St Ledger start as they swing away from the stands. Bedford in the lead, from Santellaman in second and Donegal Prince third, and Ardross on the inside is fourth. Then Baron Blakeney, then Noelino, then Sheer Grit, and the back marker is Halin. Bedford leading. Bedford in the lead, from Donegal Prince and Santellaman, then Ardross, then Baron Blakeney, then Noelino, and then Sheer Grit. Halin just the back marker. Bedford in the lead, ears pricked. He's stretching out as they race down to the far point here on the town wall. From Donegal Prince second, Santellaman is third, Ardross is fourth, Baron Blakeney is fifth, then Sheer Grit, then Noelino, and the back marker is Halin. Bedford in the lead. Little material change in the order. Bedford, Donegal Prince, Santellaman, and John Oaksey at this stage. Ardross going well within himself in fourth.
Yes, Graham, I think it looks to be going according to plan. You see that Lester Piggott has got Willie Carson on Santellaman firmly in his sights. Bedford still leading from Donegal Prince. Those are two front runners. Then comes Santellaman, but if Willie could look behind him, he would know that Lester's eyes are fixed firmly on his back, and if he does make a move on Santellaman, I would expect Lester and Ardross to go with him, because almost certainly, presumably anyway, the 3-year-old, if there is a danger, the 3-year-old is the biggest danger. As Bruff said, he's getting 7 pounds more than weight for age. But at this stage, Ardross, with the relaxation of a true stayer, is just settled nicely in fourth place. Bedford still running well in front with Donegal Prince, then Santellaman, then Ardross, who has Baron Blakeney on his outside. Sheer Grit, who's often a front runner, comes next, then Noelino, and last of all, as usual, Halin. Steve Cawthon will be probably very likely try to burrow through near the rails with Halin, because Halin loves to come through horses. Whether he'll be good enough to come through these ones remains to be seen. But Bedford still leading from Donegal Prince. Santellaman has not made his move. Lester, rather surprisingly, has allowed Baron Blakeney and Sheer Grit to come and take it off him, but he still looks perfectly happy. Now he's asked Ardross for just a little bit of a quick speed up, and it's come. Look how the great horse has quickened. He's gone past Bedford, and Santellaman is under pressure. There are 3 furlongs to go, and with Ardross in front, and in my view going to win. Back to you, Graham.
Sheer Grit is making a ground on the outside, and he looks the main challenger to Ardross. Ardross, Sheer Grit, Santellaman and Halin. Just over 2 furlongs to go. Ardross in the lead. Lester Piggott just pumping away there. A furlong and a half to go. Ardross next to the rails. Lester looks round. Santellaman is second. Sheer Grit looks done with, but Halin is coming with a run. Just over a furlong to go. Ardross from Santellaman and Halin. Ardross, the class stayer in the race, doing what he's best at, galloping resolutely to his final victory in England. Ardross in the lead from Santellaman in second place. Halin is third. Ardross in the lead as they come up towards the line. Ardross going to put it quite handsomely. Ardross the winner. A photograph for second place. Halin, Santellaman, a big gap then to Baron Blakeney, then Sheer Grit, then Donegal Prince, then Noelino, and the back marker was Bedford. And so, for the 14th time in his career, victory has gone to Ardross. He's owned by Mr. Charles St George, trained at Newmarket by Henry Cecil, bred by the late P.J. Prendergast, ridden, of course, by Lester Piggott, 149 of the season for him. It's a photograph for second place, a photograph between number 2, Halin, and Steve Cawthon, who finished to some effect on the outside of Santellaman, the heir apparent perhaps to Ardross, ridden by Willie Carson, who for me is third. But let's have another look at this magnificent stare in action. Let's see him in his slow paces and his faster paces really stay on to win this, his Doncaster Cup, with John Oaksey.
Yes, Graham, I'm afraid I've got to contradict you. We can't have you calling Santellaman the heir apparent, because the day Santellaman becomes anything like Ardross, will be, well, just about the day that I beat Sebastian Coe. There's no comparison between them. Here goes Ardross. He quickened nicely when Leicester asked him. And now the interesting thing to watch is Halin. He's fourth at this stage, but he runs a really marvellous race. Sheer grit, living up to his name as usual, does his level best in second place to Ardross. It's no surprise that Leicester has to show the great horse the whip. He's lazy by now. He's done enough of it after all. This is the 14th race he's won. Why should he go any faster than he has to? I don't think Leicester actually gives him a touch with the whip. He's just showing it him in the corner of his eye. But look at little old Halin coming to pass Santellaman. He too is giving Santellaman a lot of weight, don't forget. And what a fine all-rounder this is. He, after all, is close to the top class over hurdles. Never going to be a champion, but close to the top class. I just wish we could turn Ardross into a hurdler, and then you'd really see something at Cheltenham. But what I wish more than ever is that he wins his last race, which will be the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. And if only it comes up mud at Longchamp, I believe he will.
And I would add to that sentiment as Ardross, the winner of the Doncaster Cup. It's a pat from owner Mr. Charles St. George, and there's trainer Henry Cecil. That he gets the right sort of draw as well for him, not to have to use his speed in the